Welcome to day number 2 of Swimming 101 here with Kyle, Jake, and myself. Christina, just thank you for that beautiful intro. Definitely appreciate that. And just want to thank you guys before we jump right into our second lesson for the level of participation, respect, and effort that you guys all showed on the first day. Definitely appreciated it, and we're looking forward to having a fun-filled second day and getting wet outside and inside the pool. So with that, we're going to go ahead and intro right into a video. We're going to ask for some close analysis with you guys and some participation on your part, so pay close attention. This isn't just space out time. We're going to call on you for participation. So
it's a video of Michael Phelps, and it's a multi-angle on his different angles on his front stroke. So if you guys could just break down some of the stuff that we were going to talk about today, and just watch his head, his kicking, his arm motion. Just kind of maybe pick apart to break down in each camera angle.
And watch his arm movement as he pulls it closer to his hip, what he's doing, if he has any wrist flexion of the elbow, how he's bringing that back. You see his body's pretty rigid, stiff, like a steel rod almost. And he's slicing through the water just about 2 or 3 inches below.
Pretty cool, all the different angles that they show you, so you can see how powerful he is in his movement, and see how he's getting all of it from his legs in this, and how the whole front of his body is really staying streamlined. He has one hand on top of each other to reduce the friction.
As well as how far he goes after he's jumped out. I mean, notice he's about a quarter length, almost a third of the pool before he even lifts his head out. There's the body rotation. And the feet as well. See how they don't really come out of the water? We'll touch more on that a little bit later.
That part might be a little bit advanced.
Yeah. I don't think we'll go into that yet. That'd be day 3.
So, with that, let's get some feedback on things you guys saw that may be helpful in your swimming or learning the front crawl today. Anything?
You guys can maybe break it down. Anybody notice anything about his kicking? Any techniques that he had? Any angles?
He has really big feet.
Good feet, yeah.
Flippers.
On the first day when we introduced kicking, we implemented, or we tried to press it to you that splashing was okay. But after reviewing that with Cynthia, our beloved swimming teacher, the feet should not surface the water. So the splashing effect is caused by the rippling of the feet under the water. So we're gonna practice that today. No splashing, just feet under the water. And also, for any of you swimmers out there, it's pretty tiring exercise, correct? And the energy transfer is pretty deep. Is anybody, by any chance, nutritional factor, know how many calories Michael Phelps eats a day to balance out his?
It's a lot.
12 to 15,000. It's a lot. It's a lot. Just a nutritional fact for the day.
Yeah.
We're gonna jump right on into objectives.
All right, well, today what we're going to do, just a real quick review before we get you guys jumping back into the pool, because I know you're all anxious to do that. I know I am. I'll touch on the review. I want you to remember the basic breathing. We did that exercise. We're not going to do that again today, but we still want you, that wasn't like, okay, great, let's blow bubbles and then forget about it. The whole point of that was to develop a foundation for the front stroke and all the other strokes that we're going to teach you. So keep in mind the breathing techniques that we talked about, the cadence, the 6 kicks, rotation and breathe. We will warm up with the glide like we did earlier. So we'll get in the water. It'll be one of the first things we do. We're going to reintroduce the flutter kick. As Jake mentioned, we didn't do a very good job of teaching the discipline of that kick. You really want to keep your feet below the surface at all times. not splashing. You're going to lose a lot of propulsion and a lot of efficiency when you're slapping your foot against the water. So you don't really want to bring it out at all if that's possible. Then for the newer stuff, we're going to go to a stationary front crawl, which you'll see a little floaty between, and we'll demonstrate that for you. Really focus on the arms and how to get through that. We're going to a dynamic front crawl. Kyle will demonstrate for you guys how to actually implement everything that we've taught you all together, and then we'll introduce the backstroke for you and just focus on the legs. We'll save the arms for the next lesson, and then we'll close out with that final float and pray like we typically do.
Second, we're gonna head down to the pool, but very important detail here. Last time when we were at the pool, if you noticed, our lanes were set up like this. So lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, and 4. All that's gonna change today. So disregard that. We will not have the lane dividers today. We'll be going the width of the pool. So lifeguard station will be here. Group 1 will be here. Group 2 here, about 5 to 7 feet apart. Group 3, Group 4. And the purpose of this is the front crawl. You're gonna need a good amount of practice and also be able to stand if you get tired. So this is all where everyone can stand, and you want to get to a point. Our beloved Micah, lifeguard, will be here, hopefully.
It's Rebecca. It's Rebecca today.
Oh, it's Rebecca? Change that N to an R. So, anybody have any questions about the setup today?
Show video for the new people. We're gonna re-show the video one more time, just for the people that came in late. Kind of come and see it again, and also for you guys just to be able to do the techniques.
Just a minute and a half. So
Yeah.
We'll pay close attention to what he's doing.
Now that we kind of went over a little bit.
You guys?
Alright, so I'm going to start going over a little bit, over the cues a little bit about what we're going to be teaching you guys today. See how his body stays real straight through it? There's no movement really in this down his spine. Everything's rotational, going back and forth. His feet aren't actually coming out of the water. The splash is coming just from what's going on underneath. His heels maybe come up a little bit, but all the propulsion's coming from the bottom of his, the top of his feet hitting the water. We're not going to, be going 10 feet deep today. But when we're working on gliding, remember this formation with your hands, and if we're doing the freestyle, you can implement the push off at the start. Maybe do that with your hands to reduce friction. On this one, I want you guys to really notice how his arm on this arm comes through the pull-through stage. Most people think the front stroke is a full arm staying straight. Watch how his elbow actually bends through, and he's getting a lot of pull from his forearm too. We're going to talk about that more when we get down there. And watch the spearing motion with his hands. How we'll use, imagine spearing a fish in front of you, and when you're coming out of the water, you're really just jabbing into the water. And getting on his pull through. Alright, that's all we have for this, so let's all head down the pool.
And Cynthia just said it's beautiful down there.
It is great.